morning. I don't know if anybody is up and with me this morning. Let me see. First, I need to make sure, since it's early. Sorry. Dirty hand. I'm working at getting this piece prepped and ready to paint, and working with the two new colors. Well, I'm going to do the new color with the sawmill gravy that I did not use the last time. So if you're with me, let me know. Say hello so I know you're here. I know it's early and probably a lot of people partied and had a good time last night for the Labor Day weekend. And but I've been in my garage working. Worked all weekend pretty much, reorganizing my garage and moving things around and that sort of thing. So I worked all day doing that. Got some things ready, possibly to do a yard sale, which it's almost that time of year where it's going to get cooler to do that. And the rest of my clan is not up yet, but I'm up and trying to get some of these pieces that I have in the garage bammed out and moved along the way. We just finished the blue set. I should say I just finished the blue set behind me here. So that set is sitting here, it's curing, it's drying up, and so you can see it is just waiting to make its debut out in the real world. But in the interim, it's just sitting here right now getting its cure on. So kind of finish things up and then just kind of let them sit. I apologize for the appearance. Obviously, no makeup, just me, some Dixie Belle paint, paintbrush, and a mister bottle. So that's, and of course my coffee because it's early. And or relatively early. So pardon me, I'm still doing the coffee thing this morning. And what I'm going to do, last evening, let me turn you a little bit more so you can see this table. Eddie, you're up early. Are you at the beach waiting on some of that weather to roll in? Or are you in our area? How are you this morning? Hope you're doing well. How could you not, being at the beach, right? Great place to be. So, obviously this is a gorgeous, detailed table, which is hard to see the detailing in it because the wood is so dark. So, my goal is to obviously bring that up so you guys can see that a little better. And what I did prior, obviously, is I cleaned this piece really well, which I always do, clean my piece. After I cleaned my piece really well, I'm in. Oh, you're in town? Whoa. Yeah, I would come inland too, probably. Hey, Diane, how are you, girl? I miss seeing you. I just told Carly the other day we should have come over to the shop to visit you, and we will. Trust me, we will. But I'm working on this piece, and I washed it. Well, first I sanded it, and washed it first, then sanded it, washed it again, and now I'm ready to paint it. So I'm out here. Everybody in my house is asleep. Isn't that crazy? And I am doing this. I've decided I'm going to do this in the sawmill gravy and do kind of a farmhouse look with it. So get back to some of my roots with my very beginning furniture that I've done. So I have a washstand over here waiting. A Brown Summit. Well, well. We should all get together and go eat somewhere else. If you're going to be in town for very long, Eddie. So I've shook my paint up, cleaned my piece, and my piece is ready for, it's been prepped and ready for paint. So this color that I chose to do is the Dixie Belle, the all new sawmill gravy. So that's the one I'm going to do. I was going to use it on the piece behind me, but I decided not to. My daughter in Florida would scream if she knew I was painting this piece. Because she loves the natural wood. Not that I don't, But I think a lot of these natural pieces, when they're in the raw like this, if I call this kind of in the raw, people pass them up. They don't look at them twice because they don't fit into their environment. They're too dark and dingy, or as Carly would call it, spooky. She thinks this is haunted furniture. When she sees anything that's got any kind of detailing on it, she calls it haunted furniture. I'm like, no, it's not haunted. So now I might, and I'm pretty sure, I was thinking about doing the top separate from the bottom, so I'm gonna just kind of skip. But here's what I'll show you about the detailing. And I'm just gonna hit this lightly because I'll probably come in distress, or I'll show you. I'm gonna turn it your way so y'all can see it. See the detail there? You'd never know that was there unless you paint it, because you can't see it because it's so dark. I've done other pieces like that. I don't know why I'm being so sloppy this morning. I got paint, already got paint on me. And I don't normally get a lot of paint on me. So I did dampen my brush to begin with. So Labor Day, I know they say Labor Day, oh, you're not supposed to be working, but it was a Labor Day for me. I worked and cleaned up. Now this one has a couple of, what want to say, knocks in it, but that's because it's been knocked around. Nothing that's solid, nice solid piece of furniture, nothing that's gonna affect it. But I think I might do the top in a little different color. I might use the sawmill gravy and the French linen together on this piece, because I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm going live for Dixie Belle. When am I going live for Dixie Belle? The 5th, I believe. So you'll have, in order to view that video, you'll have to jump on Dixie Belle's live page, because it will not be on my Facebook page, or it won't be on, like, just going live on Facebook. So if you're looking for that and you're wanting to watch that video or that live, it will be on their page. So I won't be live for myself that day. I will actually be live for them. So if you're kind of looking, any of those out there that are watching and following these videos, I will actually be painting for them that night, or that day. Hey girl, miss y'all. Honey, I know it. I miss y'all too, so much. Isn't homecoming coming up soon? I think it is. I'll have to get out there. Get out to the church and visit and see everybody. And since I've been in Kernersville, I don't get out that way very much anymore. So I'm just kind of painting along this side, but I'm gonna kind of, I guess I wanna, do I wanna come down? I guess I'm gonna come down a leg so you guys can see the detail on this leg. So I'm gonna start low and work my way up because of all the detail. And sometimes in a case like this piece, less is more with your paint, because if you're going to come in and distress it or vintage it out, I call it, to make it look a little bit more antique, not that it isn't already an old, is trying to hit the detailing gently. So I'll show you. Next Sunday. Oh, I'm glad I asked. So see the detail on the side? I'm hitting it really very lightly with just the paint that's on my brush, because that's kind of the look I'm going to be going for with this piece. Now see, you probably didn't even notice the detail on this piece until I hit it with some paint. Isn't that something? Yes, we do need to come, Diane, and I will tell Carly. I don't think we have anything going on. I don't think she has a show. We'll have to check and make sure, but I don't think so. We'll try to get out there. I'll tell Carly too. Of course, she's not up right now. Her and Daddy are having the luxury of sleeping in. So with this piece, as you guys are seeing, there's the detail. That's why I saw this piece and I loved it, just because of this right here. I love the detailing on these pieces. And so I don't really want to hit it too hard with my brush, because I don't want to have to come back in and try to take it back off. So if you know before you get started that you're going to not want to take it back off and that you're wanting it to show, just go real light with your brush. Well, good morning. Sorry, I'm on the computer with Eddie and Diane and Jennifer. Everybody's out this morning early. Hey, Miss Jennifer, how are you? So, why I'm doing this lightly, because my husband, he can't stand the Facebook. Can't stand it. He hates it. I think he thinks it's MySpace. So he disappears. He doesn't like for me to be on it. But this is how I work my business, so he just has to understand. It's not like I'm meeting anybody out here. I'm just working. He's old school, though. He don't understand that it's part of it's what moves your business. Social media is really, really big. Bruce, oh, so someone different is doing the sermon, I take it. So as you can see, I'll probably go over these legs. I will make a plan. And I'll make a plan with Carly. Maybe we can get out there and have lunch with you guys. Hey Tommy, how are you? If Eddie's in town, that'd be cool if we could all get together and have lunch over at Sadie's one day this week. You know I'm flexible. Carly normally with her, Monday, she doesn't have her co-op this Monday. Obviously it's today, but, and next Monday she does. But she normally gets done with her schoolwork around noon, around lunchtime, sometimes before, depending on what subject she's working on. So we should be able to pull that off if Eddie's in town long enough and the weather holds. So I'm just going to go around this piece lightly because I really like how it's making the detail stand out. So just gonna, and I'm doing it in the Sawmill Gravy because it's Dixie Belle's newest color. So I wanted to get that. Tommy, you're on, Eddie's on, Diane's on, Jennifer, everybody knows everybody. All the early birds. I don't know, y'all out of town doing something fun while I'm here painting. Painting away, painting my life away. But I got several pieces in the garage here. And one of my sets, my daughter, this is one that she would be fussing at me for painting. Kayla, she likes everything original. And not that I don't like it, but in order for it to sell, a lot of people just will overlook this piece because of its darkness, because it's so dark. So I'm trying to lighten it up so that people can see the beauty in these carvings. These carvings are gorgeous. I have another piece behind us over here that's just as gorgeous, but in the detail, it's just like it's not just like it, but it's very similar. Has a tremendous amount of gorgeous detail that you just don't see. You just don't see it because it's dark. And when you lighten it up, then it sort of comes to life. And doing it in a neutral. I like the new Sawmill Gravy. It's a neutral. I like to jazz my pieces up, as you can see, add some color to it, and then I add detail if it doesn't have detail. So it's kind of my thing. But this one has a tremendous amount of detail without doing much to it. So that's why I'm going on light with my paint. Something, I don't know what people are doing, woke me up this morning, it's popping out there. I don't know if people are hunting. I just heard a road tractor crank. My husband probably said, uh-oh, she's out working, I'm gonna go to work too. Labor Day is supposed to be a day off, but to me it's laboring. Hey Michelle, good morning. How are you, hon? I had tried to get up with you. I know y'all are getting ready for school to start out there your way. And so, I don't know if y'all can see how it changes the detail on this piece. You can see it sort of come to life. And somebody's gonna love it. I always think about that show when I'm painting that Love It or List It. Would you love it or list it? Personally, I don't want to hide the details. So I am like almost, I call this effect kind of a dry brush effect so that the detail will pop out. I'm not going to go in there and try to paint all those grooves because I think that's what makes it pop. Sounds like fun. We need to get together. Yes, we do. We need to, if Eddie's in town, wouldn't that be fun? We'll just order us some food from BJ's maybe, order some lunch there, and everybody just kind of meet and have a lunch. That would be fun. I need to get Eddie on board with that. I have not seen Eddie. I went right there, almost saw him. I was right where he was at the beach. I was like, oh my gosh. Of course, he was probably on the beach. I can't remember that day. Of course. But we were right there. I was like, okay, so if I need to paint any furniture, I know right where Eddie is. Because Tommy's been saying something about painting something there at the beach for Eddie. I'm all in. Of course, I'm gonna wait for this weather to go through first. Hopefully it won't affect anybody at the beaches, but I do hear that it's supposed to, be, I don't know, that's been changing rapidly. I was worried about Kayla down there. And that's rapidly changing and with the storm. But hopefully the Lord will just kind of let her pass offshore. So in some areas I'm kind of going back and hitting just a little bit. I want it to kind of have that vintage antique-y look, and this sawmill gravy kind of has that. Gives it kind of that look. And I had thought about really funking this piece out and making it kind of funky looking, and you will see one of those pieces coming out. I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking to do one. This one would have been a good one. If it would have been closed in, I would have done it, but I'm holding off for the right piece. And I don't want to say too much because let the cat out of the bag when you do that. So what are you doing today, Michelle? Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Hope you're well. Saw your booth. You guys are rocking the house down out there at Cooper's. Doing a great job. How wonderful it must be to have a partner in crime and not doing it all yourself. That's not my... Didn't get that lucky. It's just me and my paintbrush and the good Lord. That's all I got on my side. So again, I am painting this piece in the this is the Dixie Belle's newest color, the Sawmill Gravy. So I've been working in all their new colors lately. Hey. You working today? Yeah, me too. You see it. I've been working all weekend, organizing this garage. You should have seen it. I had the windows open on the side of the garage. Just tossing stuff out the window, out into the mule and out to the dumpster. And a lot of it was just boxes that I just, whenever I got something or somebody gave me something. Holidays and stuff, I just saved the box for whatever reason, like I was gonna put it back in the box and store it. No, so all that junk, I spent the whole day working in my garage yesterday and cleaning up and reorganizing and moving. Ever since I moved out of the building with the business, I brought all that stuff here and just kind of stacked it and didn't go through it or anything. And that, you know, that's been a while. So that's been since February, I guess, when I changed roles, or the Lord changed roles for me, and started doing something different and working from home and whatever. And I just had never got around to going through that mess and putting it away. I just kind of stacked it. And so yesterday was the day. They said Labor Day. I don't know. When I hear Labor Day, that means labor. And I guess a lot of people think that means day off. So I don't know. But to me, I'm a laboring. And every time I think about that, oh, you like the new color? Yeah, me too. You know, I don't like to do a lot of whites, but hey, preparing for class and the weather. Well, hopefully the weather will stay off and leave us alone. However, we could always use the rain, not torrential rains, obviously, but we can always use rain. We've taken just about everything out of the garden except for the tomatoes. They're holding on, and I'm holding on to them because they were the best tomato flavor we had this year. And so kind of been holding on to the tomatoes. Everything else has been bush hogged down. You know, when you start bush hogging the garden down, it's that season's behind us and new seasons arising. So anyway, yeah, this table, I love the detail in it. So I decided I was going to come in here, pop this sawmill gravy on it. I've got a couple of pieces I'm just trying to get out, as well as the set I just finished that's sitting in here curing. Just working. Trying to get some of this done. So I did, for those of you who are just joining, haven't seen, I did clean this piece first, obviously, last night. I cleaned it, sanded it, and prepped it. Lightly sanded it. I didn't need to do much. This one didn't have any big imperfections that needed any kind of repair. I got a couple of pieces, a couple of vanities that are coming up that are veneer, and they've had some major issues with the veneer, which is the only reason I got my hands on them. Did you go to Hillsville, Rhonda? Sorry, my hair is a mess. I'm just working in the garage. I guarantee it's nice to have a partner. Everything don't come out of your pocket. That makes a huge difference when you're having to do it all on your own and all on a really tight budget, and somebody else is helping make some of the rent and all that mess. I promise you, it's less stress on you, both of you. I don't have that luxury. But that's all in God's hands. He does what He wants to do with us. So I am just lightly hitting all this, especially on this detail. I don't want to get in all the grooves. I just want to get in it enough that you can see it. Because less is more in a case like this piece, because this piece is obviously, I want it to look like that. So when I come back in, I will come back in and probably give, now I'm going light on this coat. I did not get 100% full coverage on it. And the reason I didn't get full coverage on this piece is because I let up on the brush. Because I would rather have less is more in a case like on these sides and everything, and then I can come back in when it dries and add more to the areas that I need more. But if you are, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to two-tone this, obviously. That's why I left the top. I'm going to come in here, so I'm adding the French linen to the top, which is this color. So it's just a shade different. And then, obviously, the sawmill gravy to the rest of it. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I got a real light coat on this, and I haven't done the feet yet. This obviously has some really cute feet on it as well. So it doesn't take chalk paint very long to dry. I don't want it to touch that piece I got back over there. So you can kind of see, I lift it up, you can kind of see its cute little feet. So it does have cute little feet on it as well. And again, with the feet, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just gonna lightly hit it, because there's a possibility I will come back in here with a dark wax, possibly, or a brown, because you know Dixie Belle has several color waxes. So you could come in here and hit it with a brown wax, or you could hit it with a black wax. However, but I did not get complete coverage on this because I didn't want to get complete coverage. And so if you're wanting complete coverage, you just have to be a little heavier on the brush. And I went very gently on the brush on purpose because I don't want to be sanding it back off. So when I come back in to add to this, so I'm going to lift it up and do the same thing. You see, I have not dipped into my paint again. I am simply using the paint that's on my brush. So I'm just kind of adding it to it. So a lot of the antique shops and places are open today. So if y'all are wanting to go see any of these antique pieces or painted pieces that are out there, you can. Cooper's is open. Rhonda's at Cooper's as well. Her and her partner are just finished their booth. That's what I was talking about. Just finished adding some stuff to their booth, so you might want to go check that out. We are continually working on ours and getting ready for the new season, which brings in cooler weather. So it'll be a good time to get out and enjoy the weather and not have to be clogged up in the house so much. So I'm just coming along and adding some to the detail on the bottom of these feet. And just kind of lifting it. I always work in here on the floor. That's why my bones ache, I guess. Hey Angela, how are you? Yeah, I like this color, but for me it's and I like color, I guess is my thing. I like color, and it's harder for me to paint something in the neutral, and which I consider this a neutral, but it's very farmhousey, which is kind of cool. And so I just thought it would be fun to just get out here and mess on this piece. And we'll work on my other piece over there. I got several little pieces that have been sitting here stacked and just waiting on me. But and then I get in that mode that, oh my gosh, I got to get some of this stuff done, which yesterday was that day. Yesterday just kind of put me. Did you go to Hill? No, I didn't. I worked all day yesterday here in my garage. I tell you. And it needed it. I wanted to go, but I didn't go. I wanted to. And I like to see everybody's work. I like to see the difference in, everybody has a little different style, which is awesome. And I love going to see everybody's style, but I did not get out there. You didn't go either. Oh, you had a fish fry. Oh, how fun. How fun. Yeah. No, I did not. Sometimes you can find some good things up there. And I know friends of ours did go, but we did not because I just had so much I needed to catch up with. Now I'm gonna push this aside because I actually have two pieces that I wanted to work on this morning. This being one of them, and this being the other. So let me move her. So my thought process was, do I want to paint this one in the French linen? I might stick with this color. And just move that one out of my way and bring this one in. I told you I had a lot of stuff in here that I was trying to work. Now this piece, because it's obviously old, and look at the top, so I'll show you. So this obviously is an old washstand and in excellent condition, great condition. However, you see what's on the top there. So I did clean it really, really well. Always clean, clean. And since I have my brush out, I'm gonna put this sawmill gravy over it because it's kind of rustic, and I think that'll be cool. Hey, Dawn, how are you? Hope you're well. So this piece has this real black stain on it. So, and it's just weathered from being used. Obviously, this is an old washstand. So it had been wet, I don't know, countless times, I'm sure. And but it is solid as a rock. So I did clean this piece, obviously, really, really well with my White Lightning cleaner. And then I came in and I sanded it, and then I cleaned it again. And then after I did that, I put the boss on it. I did have clear boss, however, that's why you can't tell, but you can see it's got a little bit of a sheen to it maybe in this lighting, and that is probably the boss that you're seeing. So I did pre-do that because of this top and how black that stain is up there, which I am not trying to make this brand new. This is obviously a vintage wash stand, and I will keep it with that vintage vibe. So again, I am working this morning in the Sawmill Gravy, one of Dixie Belle's newest paint colors that just come out. And so I am working with it. I just finished that table beside us there, and now I'm gonna start working on this piece. And so I did boss it because I knew that it was stained up there and it's kind of dark and drabby looking. So I'm envisioning putting this lighter color on to bring it to a neutral zone so it can get loved again. And it is in solid mint condition. But of course, even though it's solid and in mint condition, it's dark. So I have been painting in mostly all of Dixie Belle's new colors lately. We did the antebellum, excuse me. We did the dusty blue, which is behind me. I don't know if you guys saw that set. Let me turn you around. So this set here, while I'm working, this set here is sitting here. Yes, I have a table there waiting. Everything's in line. Everything's waiting in line. So this set is the dusty blue and the haint blue on the detailing on this piece. So I just completed that, been working on that most of the week. You guys probably, if you saw those videos, they're out there somewhere. They should be on our Facebook page. Trying to just continue on. So the antebellum piece is done. It's at the Nook and Cranny. So that piece is done. This is in the dusty blue, and now I'm using the Sawmill Gravy. Dixie Belle just came out with 5 new colors. So as well as the new, what I want to say, metallics. So 3 new metallic colors. 3, yeah, 4, I think 4. But anyway, I am just gonna put this on this piece. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm gonna come up the leg so you can. Excuse me, let me grab some coffee. So, yeah, Labor Day for me is labor. I couldn't believe the mess I had yesterday. I was tossing stuff out the garage window, telling Carly, throw it in the twister. throw it in the dumpster. Most of it was not anything, obviously, that I could yard sale or just, I don't know what my problem was, saving empty boxes. I had a lot of empty boxes of stuff. And also, like I said, I needed to revamp from moving out of the building up in Kernersville and not having a brick and mortar anymore. And so when I made that move from the brick and mortar, I never really, just kind of stacked stuff and just kept working, and never got around to organizing it. And I had a lot of tables and, you know, just whatnot stuff, products, you know, tools and miscellaneous stuff. So I just went in and cleaned all that up. Now, if I hadn't used boss on this, and I'm using such a light color, to me this is a light color because y'all know I like to paint in color and not in a neutral. Even though I know this is color, it's not, to me it's not the same. But anyway, and we'll paint with it anyway. And if I had not used the boss on it and it being such a light color, it would have bled through my paint. So that's not something I would like to happen. So when I finish this wash stand, most likely this is not going to be used as a wash stand again, obviously, in our day. We have running water and all that fun stuff, electricity and running water, so this is never going to be used in the same context that it was. But it might be used as, you know, this could be used for a movable or mobile, I should say, beverage thing, because it's not too beverage cart type thing, even though it's not on wheels. It is portable, it's light, so it could be portable. It could be stationed in an area. That could be a coffee bar. I mean, it could be a lot of things. I just finished an old wash stand into a coffee bar, and it turned out wonderful. But I did it in a little different color. I did it in a neutral still, I think. It was pretty neutral color, I want to say. It was kind of like the sandbar, but I don't think that's what I used. And it's out at Just Plain Country in Walnut Cove. They're also open today. So you can do lots of cool things with these pieces. And so I'm just going to continue on and paint this. But had I not used the boss, now I'm pretty sure, because this is such a light color, that it would have bled through my paint, that the stain on the top. You might have could have got away with the rest of it without even bossing it. But I always tell everybody, if you're questioning whether or not you could get away with it, you better boss it. Because there's a good possibility. It doesn't matter. It's probably going to bleed through. So if you have that question in your mind, you might want to just go ahead and boss it, because you'll save yourself a lot of work and a lot of headache too, because you don't want to, if it's yours and your grandma had it, or in your case, it'd probably be your great-grandma or somebody like that had this piece that got handed down to you. And the back is in good shape. And I may even, and that's something I never do, is paint the back on my pieces. But on this piece, I probably will, because you could see it from all the way around. Now, the dressers and stuff behind me, they're original. I never paint the back of the pieces because I feel like all of its character is there. This one, however, is not stamped or numbered or nothing. So yeah, I'm debating, because that's what I normally never paint. I never paint the back. But because of the spindles wrap around, I think you could move this piece around and see it in a room. So in my case, I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the back on this one, which is not something I normally do. Never really paint the back of anything. But in a case like this, where it could be a mobile cart, you could even use this beside your table, or beside your couch in your house, or beside a fireplace or something like that. You would see both sides of it. So I'm going to just go ahead. And I did boss it all the way around, because I kind of thought the same thing last night. So when I was cleaning, after I got done with all my work in my garage, I worked out here till 9:30, prepping these pieces and getting them ready for today for me to paint. So, trying to get some of these out. This is when a partner comes in handy. Somebody can be painting while you're doing something else. And it not all falling on the one person, but anyway, that's not always an option for all of us. So I just have to do double time. I have to do everything at my booths, everything in the garage, all the painting, and anything. It's just the way it rolls. But I'm not complaining because somehow, some way, I keep going. The Lord just keeps me pushing along. And if I don't burn up the paintbrush, nothing gets done. So, got to roll. So most of the time I am out here, even though I'm not live, from 8 o'clock in the morning till and do stuff at my booths and my spaces, and run back and then work again. This is the back of this piece, y'all, that I'm painting now, as you can see. And then come back in, take care of the family, get everybody fed, get everything done, and then come out here till 9:30, 10. Most of the time it's much later than 9:30. Most of the time it's 10:30 or later. After I go off, I normally come on here about 8 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning if I can. So I try to come on and show you guys what I'm doing, even though, just to kind of help out with those who are learning and starting. Don't be afraid to jump in there and do it. All it is just paintbrush and paint. It's no big deal. Dixie Belle makes it really, really simple, easy to apply, easy prep for the most part. Now I do prep just about everything. Excuse me, I never really skip my steps. I don't skip my steps because I don't want it to go out and there be any question in my mind that it's not going to hold up. So I don't skip my steps, because even though sometimes you want to, because we're in a hurry, and like I say, you don't have somebody to fall back on to be doing it, and it's just you, and you're trying to get it done, get everything done for everybody and everything, and all your stuff. I just still don't skip my steps because I don't want any of my pieces to have any issues with them once my customers, purchase them. So it's important to me that everything holds up well. I don't compromise my integrity or my work, the integrity of my work by skipping a step. So, and if you're doing this for yourself and at home, definitely you don't want to skip your steps, because you're going to be happier with the end result if you take the time. Just invest your time in it. This obviously is a piece that could be around for years and years and years to come. If it was, something that was handed down to me and I didn't want to it to come apart, or for the paint to chip back off or anything like that, or scratch back off, I would just take my time. Now on the top of this, where I am, I haven't done the top yet. Obviously I'm going around the sides painting this. On the top, when I'm done, I will most likely put the gator hide on it. And the reason for that is because I know down the road, I don't know, it's going to get used, if it ever is used for something that's going to be wet and any moisture on it, a glass or something like that from somebody, you just using the piece in normal wear. I want to put the gator hide on it so that it will be more waterproof. obviously. That's why it is stained on it at the top now. So this is the sawmill gravy you're seeing me put on. And again, I'm not trying to get complete coverage with this because it's an old piece. I'll probably tweak this color out when I'm done with either another color. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I just go in with a wax. Just depends. This one would look really cool. And the reason I use the clear boss too, if you're distressing a piece, now I didn't use the clear boss because it's going to bleed through everywhere on this piece. It's just going to be mostly probably on the tops in this area. So I can come in and I can distress this piece without worrying about it bleeding through. It was just to block this stain. It really wasn't for a bleed through issue. So just so you guys know that. So if you wanted to come in here, and so I'm not trying to get full coverage on this because I might want to come in here and distress this piece and give it a little, even though it has a tremendous amount of character, I'm going to add more character to it. So by maybe distressing it a little bit. So not trying to get a heavy coat of paint on this piece by any means, just like I didn't on the other piece. I did it with a light hand purposely. You could get one coat coverage. A lot of times with a darker piece and going over it with a light, you probably, most likely, if you're trying to get full coverage, obviously, you probably do 2 coats. In my case, I'm not really wanting to get complete coverage. So I'm going light with the brush. So it's all in the technique of how you're putting your paint on. So you can get full coverage or you can leave it sort of vintage. So if you're going to distress your piece, less is more in the case of painting when you're painting your stuff on, because you're gonna want to come in and distress it, and the less paint you have on it to distress it. So I painted a little heavier in areas that I'm not going to distress, if that makes sense, and lighter in other areas where I am going to distress it. So it's just your preference. That's always just a preference of the person painting, obviously. So on this piece, that's how I'm handling this one. And I'm lightening it up because it was dark and sort of drab and probably just going to be overlooked. So I'm going to give it a little farmhouse look, because obviously this little washstand was probably a little farmhouse in a little farmhouse. So I'm going to stick with that. Stick with its calling, because that's what it was created to be in the first place. So this is how fast, you guys, I don't even know how long I've been on here, but in the length of time that I've been on here, you pretty much watch me paint 2 pieces and the colors that the color that I used on it. Now I won't paint up underneath this piece, underneath the bottom or up under here. I'll only paint the areas that you're seeing that will be visualized, if you will. Now, because I'm on the floor, I'm going to just tip this toward me because I'm working on the floor. I need to do something. I need to go somewhere and do something, but I haven't thought of what to do. Where to go or what to do. It's work, work, work. So, I love the cute little rails on this. Super cute. You can see, excuse me, I'm already touching the paint because it takes no time for chalk paint to dry. Most of the time though, if I'm going to put a second coat on it, most of the time I do let it sit overnight, which I know you don't have to. You could recoat this in a couple of hours, and just depends on your preference and the time you have. I was trying to get some work done before everybody got up, in case maybe we wanted to do something today. So I thought I would get out here and get some of my work accomplished before everybody was up and ready to go do something. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of coming live here this morning to show you guys the Dixie Belle Sawmill Gravy, what that color looks like, and the pieces that I'm working on. So I'm just going to check out. I'm going to go ahead and do the top, and I'll come back and show you guys at a later in the week how that's turning out. And let y'all go. Hope y'all have a blessed Monday. Happy Labor Day to you all. Hope you have a great day and have fun, and I'll chat at y'all later. Bye, guys.